Hello, you're listening to the Deets with Dave. I'm your host, Dave Robertson, the friendly neighborhood podcaster and guerrilla vlogger. Today's episode is a solo monologue. It's my intent to do a podcast a week, alternating between an interview and a monologue on a topic that's either relevant or covers one of my interests. My original aim was to do an episode regarding privacy and information security, fields that I work in professionally. However, due to recent events, that episode will have to wait. This weekend we had 3 mass shootings, one currently of indeterminate cause in Chicago, another in Dayton, Ohio, also of indeterminate cause. I'll be focusing on the shooting in El Paso. This one is particularly intriguing, not due to the normal fare that many news sites and content creators typically would focus on. The gun debate, the mental health debate, what kind of disaffected affluenza afflicted the shooter. These I'm not touching because I'm striving to be as apolitical as possible with this. It's also not because I once called El Paso home, that I've shopped at the Walmart at the center of the attack, that I always had an irrational fear that my car would fall through the upper deck parking lot of the Cielo Vista Mall. No, I want people to understand that this type of attack, this type of lone wolf terrorism, is surprisingly common, at least in fantasy form online. Obviously, if you're a discerning listener, El Paso isn't online. It's in meat space, IRL, real life. You see, while the average normie is too busy liking pictures on Facebook, IG, browsing trending on YouTube, or if they're a little weird, they might upvote some dank memes on Reddit. The rest of the internet is looking at weird stuff on Infinity Chan and 4chan. If you understood the last 3 sentences with any clarity, you might be enough of an old bee to get where I'm going with this. If not, continue listening and keep your eyes open. Now, a disclaimer. I still have a normal job, and while I might view this podcast episode as something informative, there's a chance not everyone will. While I don't feel like outing my employer at this time, I'm going to just say this. The contents of this podcast represent the opinions and research of Dave Robertson, as published under the Dave Robertson Media Group, and do not reflect those of any other person or organization. They do not reflect or represent in any way the Walmart Corporation, the U.S. Department of Defense, the Departments of the Army or the Navy, not the U.S. Postal Service, not the U.S. Department of the Air Force, Yum Brands Incorporated, United Parcel Service Incorporated, not the Kroger Company, not the McDonald's Corporation, not the Home Depot, International Business Machines Corporation, Express Services Incorporated, Compass Group USA Investments Limited Liability Partnership, not the Target Corporation, or the General Electric Company. Now that that's out of the way, let's continue. The internet is an amazing thing. It allows people to get together and share ideas from subcultures and fandoms that would otherwise be very difficult. This same interconnectivity also allows people with reactionary, violent, racist, and sexist views to get together and complain about how their hated other is ruining society. Additionally, it allows those who don't necessarily share those views to troll and emulate the latter. The problem is not everyone is in on the joke. During the run-up to the 2016 election, Pepe the Frog, an anthropomorphized frog from the 2005 comic Boy's Life by Matt Fury, became utilized in what is known as the meme wars. Initially, these were innocent enough parodies of Fury's original character. There was a sad Pepe, a happy Pepe. Even some celebrities got in on the action. However, when Pepe gets drawn with a very conspicuous mustache advocating genocide, we have a problem. Even though these might be jokes, not everyone is in that it's just fun and games. More hardcore parodies originated on 4chan, where Anons shared images on the RK9 board. You'll notice I use the word Anon, which is short for anonymous. This is where our real problems stem from. The anonymity of the internet allows people to spew vitriol in a safe space. Places like 4chan were initially built on a guarantee of anonymity to whatever degree for their user base. This allows whoever to say whatever they want without the typical social backlash you might get if your identity is known. Without social accountability, these spaces quickly become online sewers. When you spend time in the sewer, you tend to get sick, and if you're already sick, it gets worse. As the sewer gets full of awful and people get sicker, the wise might pull themselves out. While it might be fun to say and do and make edgy, shocking things, this isn't real life and one must get back to meat space. Venting is all well and good, but one can't do it all the time. Folks have lives, but not everyone can. This place becomes their reality and their mental home. In 2014, an Isla Vista, California man made a YouTube video detailing how he would punish women who had rejected him by entering a sorority and, in his words, slaughtering them. He then posted to the RK9 4chan board a link to his video. 90 minutes later, he killed 6 people, 2 of which, Catherine Cooper, 22, and Veronica Weiss, 19, were members of the Alpha Phi sorority. The other victims were Wei Han David Wong, 20, Chung Yuan James Hong, George Chun, and Christopher Ross Michaels Martinez, age 20. The other board members, being similarly mired in digital blackwater, didn't contact the police. After the attacks, the attacker was lauded as something of a folk hero in the image board, the first martyr in the, quote, incel rebellion. T-shirts were sold with his face and tagline. This behavior wasn't punished at all, because everyone was in on the joke. Screenshots of the board near the time of the attack show a user base at worst encouraging and at best utterly apathetic. One user says, quote, "Doesn't seem prudent to post plans like that on YouTube. Oh well, I guess we should keep an eye on the news." Another, "That's what I thought too. He kind of speaks like a Bond villain at times. But you never know, man. That could just be how he is. I'll be watching the news with a hawk's eye tomorrow." Fast forward to 2015. Another denizen of the internet's raging bile duct, again on 4chan's RK9 board, says, quote, "Some of you guys are all right. Don't go to school tomorrow if you're in the Northwest. Happening thread will be posted tomorrow morning. So long, space robots." Once again, the other users offer such wise counsel as, quote, "I suggest you enter a classroom and tell people that you will take them as hostages. Make everyone get in one corner, then open fire. Make sure that there is no way that someone can disarm you, as it is possible. I suggest you carry a knife on your belt as a last resort if someone is holding your gun," which is responded to by the shooter with, "Thanks. Keep me in your prayers." Another user suggests targets. "You might want to target a girls' school, which is safer because there are no beta males throwing themselves for their rescue. Do not use a shotgun. I would suggest a powerful assault rifle and a pistol, or 2 pistols, possibly the type of pistols who have 15-plus ammo." As a result, 10 died, 7 were wounded at the Umpqua Community College in Oregon. Lucero Alcaraz, 19, Quinn Glenn Cooper, 18, Jason Dale Johnson, 33, Trevin Taylor Anspach, 20, Kim Saltmarsh Deets, 59, Lawrence Levin, 67, Rebecca Ann Carnes, 18, Lucas Eibel, 18, and Serena Dawn Moore, 43, will never see their families again. Another disclaimer. I'm intentionally leaving out the names of the perpetrators. The focus of this piece is where they come from and their victims. While the source of articles will identify them, I refuse to give them any extra press than necessary. Part of the problem with these spaces is that they're full of, quote, shitposts. This is the normal fare of many of these anonymous image boards. Lots of posts talk about killing X because of Y, raping so-and-so, but this is noise to the signal of actual killers. Lots of posts also contain references to personalities across the political spectrum, so identifying where someone lies beforehand is pretty hard until they actually do something. Cue 2019's March 15th Christchurch massacre in New Zealand. The terrorist who killed the people during Jummah prayers at the Al-Noor Mosque in his manifesto jokingly referred to Spyro the Dragon and internet personality PewDiePie as being inspirations for the attack. It was all good fun until 51 people were killed. The terrorist's manifesto was posted to another image board called Infinity-chan or 8chan, along with a link to a live stream of the terror attack on Facebook. Unique about this attack was the terror's knowledge of internet culture. The misdirection shitposts in his manifesto were deliberate attempts to obfuscate his intentions, though one could easily glean that from the profile of his victims. Less than a month later, we have the Poway synagogue shooting, an IRL effort post which left Lori Gilbert K., 60, dead. This particular one is deeply disturbing. As compared to other attacks, the terrorist's manifesto was spread in an effort to get more attacks to occur. Additionally, around the same time, the Christchurch shooter's manifesto was being translated into different languages on the poll board of Infinity-chan. The Poway terrorist directly cited the Christchurch terrorist as an inspiration, going so far as to call him a saint. More appalling is the apparent death threats made against an investigative journalist who wrote an article detailing the connections between the shootings and Infinity-chan, as well as other image boards. And now we end in El Paso. I apologize if the flow of this particular section is less coherent. As a former El Pasoan, it's more difficult for me to coherently construct this section since it's much closer to me personally. Just this Sunday, August 4th, 22 people were killed in the Walmart off the I-10 highway next to the Cielo Vista Mall, with the possibility of the death toll rising due to those still alive but in critical condition. The terrorists traveled from the Dallas area over 10 hours away to commit this attack. I know from personal experience that this Walmart is frequented by people from Ciudad Juarez. It's the closest Walmart to the border, and frequently you can see more Chihuahua plates, the nearby Mexican state, than license plates from Texas. The terrorist undoubtedly knew this, as his manifesto posted on Infinity Chan details his concerns over the invasion of Hispanics coming into Texas. The reaction of these attacks has been much swifter. Infinity Chan has lost its web host, Cloudflare, and its former founders recommending the site be shut down permanently. Additionally, with the Poway shooter, the FBI issued a warrant seeking the IP address and metadata information about the original post detailing the attack, as well as the IPs of all who responded to it. While it might be heartening to know that the lack of appetite of the general public for violent trolling is leading to their breeding grounds being targeted, one has to wonder where they will go. Infinity Chan is, or was, a place, while disgusting, that could be monitored. With it being shut down, one wonders where those people will go. Certainly their beliefs won't change. In fact, they might be emboldened due to the perceived persecution and violation of their free speech rights. Only time will tell where we go from here. I'm always looking for feedback, so make sure you leave a rate of the podcast, a comment, and subscribe. If you liked this episode and want to hear more from me, be sure to follow me on Twitter or Instagram at DarobMG, that's at DAROBMG, or my YouTube channel and Facebook, which are the same as my IG and Twitter handles. Lastly, if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to email me at dave.robertson.88mm@gmail.com. I hope you'll join me for the next episode. Until next time, peace.